guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Foster Kajin Cosplay, and today we are watching with you guys the finale of Chernobyl, episode 5.
The finale. It was such a short show, but oh gosh, every episode kicked us in the feels.
Yeah.
They were harder and harder to watch. The last one was terrible. Especially with my cat sleeping in my arms and purring. Like, that was impossible to watch with him there. And this episode, it's the trial. We know from the finale of the last episode. It's the trial. We will learn what actually happened. I am hoping for a little less tears, but I'm not kidding myself. Like, every episode has been hard, so the fifth one is not gonna be easier, I'm sure, but still. I'm excited to see what they will come up with. We've talked about this. We don't think that Legasov is gonna say the truth at the trial.
Not if he's saying the truth at the beginning, before killing himself.
Exactly. He ends up killing himself after recording the actual truth. So if he did that, I'm guessing he did not say the truth at the trial. But we'll see. We'll see what he actually says. We'll see how people react to all of this. And we'll finish this show.
Yeah.
Once and for all. Okay, let's watch this.
Alright.
Let's go. How long before the explosion is this?
Maybe just the day before.
Oh man, we're gonna see them all before they died. Oh, dang it. A lot of them are dead now. It's giving me chills already. They had no way of knowing what was going to happen to them. "12 hours. Fuck.
I hear they might promote Rukhanov. This little problem we have with the safety test, if it's completed successfully, yes, I think promotion's very likely. Naturally, they'll put me in charge once it's gone, and then I'll need someone to take my old job. I would like to be considered. We'll keep that in mind. Victor Petrovich, preparations for the test have gone smoothly. Comrade Dyatlov's been working per my instructions, and reactor 4 output's been reduced to 1600 megawatts. With your approval, we're ready to continue lowering power to...
You have to wait. I've just had a call from the grid controller in Kiev. He says we can't lower power any further, not for another 10 hours.
The grid controller?
It's the end of the month. All the productivity quotas. Everyone's working overtime. The factories need power. Someone's pushing down from above. Not that we'll ever know who. So do we have to scrap it or what?
No, I don't think so. If we need to wait 10 hours, we wait.
Running half power, we're not going to have stability issues.
It's safe. We'll maintain at 1600. I'll go home, get some sleep, come back tonight. We'll proceed then. And it will be completed.
It's gonna go to shit.
Well, I'm not waiting around. Call me when it's done.
Not the call you hope to receive, though.
Yeah, you're not getting that chair. You're not getting anything. Well, yeah, I'm not saying that wanting to advance in life, wanting to have a higher position and everything is bad. But when you're working with something so dangerous, you gotta, think about the entire thing, not just your little position. Think about the possibility of a disaster, maybe,
Chokov is saying they're going to fix the reactors after the trial.
The state will never willingly fix the reactors because acknowledging the problem means admitting that they lied. They will have to be forced. At the trial, you're going to tell the truth. The Central Committee have invited members of the scientific community to observe the trial. Our colleagues. They will be sitting in the crowd listening to every word you say. A jury that only we know is there. And when your testimony arrives at the moment of the explosion, that is when our jury will finally hear the truth.
And do what with it?
Insist on reform.
If everyone believes or knows the truth, they will force a change.
And you think that these scientists, handpicked to witness a show trial, will somehow be stirred into action by me because of some heroic stance I take in defiance of the state?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're Valery Legasov and you mean something.
They will shoot me. Paymat.
You told me to find out what happened. I spoke to dozens of people. Every word they said, I wrote down. All in these books. These are the ones who are still alive. These are the ones who are dead. They died rescuing each other, putting out fires, tending to the wounded. They didn't hesitate. They didn't waver. They simply did what had to be done.
So have I. I went willingly to an open reactor.
True.
So I've already given my life. Isn't that enough?
No, I'm sorry, but it is not.
Not if it leads to another disaster. It is a lot to ask of him, though. I understand. Like, I'm not even sure I would do anything if I was in his place, you know? But if he doesn't do, like, if he doesn't do anything, it's a chance for another explosion and even more people dying.
And all those who died
For
in the
nothing.
first place will be dead for nothing.
Exactly.
To understand what happened that night, we have to go back 10 hours earlier. April 25th, the day the test was meant to take place. By 2 in the afternoon, the reactor has been lowered by half and ready to be reduced to its final output level for the test, 700 megawatts. But before they can proceed, there is a phone call. Power grid officials in Kiev say that they cannot afford a further reduction in electricity until after midnight. They are asking for a 10-hour delay. Competent management would have insisted on cancelling the test. These 3 men allowed it to proceed. It created 2 problems. One of them is scientific in nature, and the other is very human. At midnight, there is a shift change.
I really love how they did this. They're showing it to us as it happens.
Sasha. You know the test they're supposed to run, they couldn't do it on the day shift, so they've given it to us.
To us? We don't know what... We don't know what it is.
It's fine. We take it down to 700, hold it there.
They had no idea how to do this.
Diatlov is going to be supervising.
I have to do something I've never done before with Diablo looking over my shoulder.
Oh, don't worry. We'll do it together.
No fucking
How
wonder.
much you can be, seriously?
I have the manual for the rundown test. We did it last year. Yes, in the program there's instructions of what to do, and then, well, there's a lot of things crossed out. What should I? Well, what should I?
Oh god.
Right. Thank you. He says to follow the crossed out instructions.
So then why are they crossed out?
The higher-ups were motivated by a possibility of advancement.
Is it too much to ask?
So they rushed it.
What you're doing? Well, yes.
Steliachuk?
Yes.
Kirschenbaum?
I haven't reviewed. We only just found out.
There, review it. Or you can just do what I tell you. I think even you, stupid as you are, can
They
manage that.
don't know what they're doing.
Well, let's go.
They're the night shift, you know? They're super young. They never did it before.
Switch the turbine off while the reactor's still running. It's not good. Shut the fuck up and do your job.
Fuck you!
Topped and off. Reduce power to 700.
He knows how was the procedure. He could have explained it to them,
Well,
but he
he's
won't.
telling them what to do, but...
but they don't know how to do it.
I want you to think of Yuri Gagarin. I want you to imagine that he has been told nothing of his mission into space until the moment that he is on the launch pad. I want you to imagine that all he has is a list of instructions that he has never seen before, some of which have been crossed out. This is exactly what was happening in the control room of Reactor 4. Leonid Topchenov, the operator responsible for controlling and stabilizing the reactor that night, was all of 25 years old. And his total experience on the job? 4 months.
What?
This is the human problem created by the delay. Inside the reactor core, in the space between the atoms themselves, something far more dangerous is forming. A poison. The time is 28 past midnight.
She's not gonna lie. She's saying it as it is. Now it all falls on him, though.
There are essentially two things that happen inside a nuclear reactor. The reactivity which generates power either goes up or it goes down. That's it. As uranium atoms split apart and collide, reactivity goes up. But if you don't balance the reactivity, it never stops rising. So, boron control rods. They reduce reactivity like brakes on a car. Cool water takes heat out of the system. As it does, it turns to steam, or what we call a void. In an RBMK reactor of the type used at Chernobyl, there's something called a positive void coefficient. It means that the more steam present within the system, the higher the reactivity, which means more heat, which means more steam, which means it would appear we have a vicious cycle on our hands. And we would, were it not for this, the negative temperature coefficient. When nuclear fuel gets hotter, it gets less reactive. As uranium splits apart to release energy, it breaks down into a new element, xenon. Xenon reduces reactivity. This is the poison Comrade Homyuk mentioned. When the core is running at full power, it burns the xenon away before it can cause a problem. But because of the delay, Chernobyl reactor 4 has been held at half power for 10 hours. The xenon did not burn away. It built up, poisoning the core. If you can't understand how a stalled nuclear reactor could lead to an explosion, I don't blame you. After all, you don't work in the control room of a nuclear power plant. But as it turned out, the men who didn't understand it either.